Hope everyone's having a good day so far. We're all going to sing Thank You for This Day. I'm sure you all know it. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. One more time. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing 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 day.
Thank you, Alexa Ehrlich and Matthew Hara. How good to have you guys back. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in partnership with Unity of Medford. I'm Kimberly Hawkins, Senior Minister here. Always great to welcome you, and I always like to say, no matter where you may happen to be on your own personal spiritual journey, if there's anybody here for the very first time, we'd love to give you a little love. If you just raise your hand. Anybody first-timers? Yeah, welcome. So glad to have you join us. And if you didn't receive a welcome packet, put that hand back up in the air, and we'll make sure you get one. Here's a lady down in the front, too. Where are our ushers? Patricia? Yeah. Raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. They'll come. Sue, I think somebody's getting a packet. There we go. There. Thank you, Sue. Yeah. So we are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive faith community. We teach tools in our classes to transform our personal lives as well as helping to make a world that works for all people, all creatures, all of life, the earth itself. I'd like to introduce a few more people. Nancy Clay is our practitioner who will be doing our invocation, our opening prayer and reading today. Morel Wyeth did our meditation, and she's holding high watch, praying throughout the service for everyone's highest and best good. If you have not already done so, please turn your cell phones off or in airplane mode. I also want to welcome those watching us live online. Please put your name and where you're watching from in the chat so we know you're with us. And all those watching later on the recording, either on Facebook or on our Facebook page, Facebook or YouTube. I think my brain is still not completely in gear, even after that great opening song. Wow. All right, I'm going to turn it over to our musicians once again to prepare us for our invocation and reading. And I invite you, after this particular song, to hold your applause while we stay in that sacred place for prayer.
Face of God, I hold you in my are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You're my family. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Repeat that a couple times. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
So as we come together this morning, we're representing the spirit of the universe as individual incarnations of the one power, the one presence, the one heart, the one intelligence, the one guiding force that leads us through a constantly expanding experience of being human. And it's a privilege to be standing here this morning facing all of you who have come here to share this moment. I don't take these moments lightly. They are a blessing to all of us. And just knowing that the blessings are appreciated by us, are noticed by us, and enrich our lives. I release this word into the law of mind, knowing that as it is spoken, it has occurred, and together we can say, and so it is. Am I really loud? Okay, it's like, we like you loud. Okay. Well, this morning I'm going to read from Science of Mind magazine, which has a daily reading, and it's actually today's reading. Sometimes I read them from the past or the future, but it's actually today's. As soon as I read it this morning, I knew it was what I wanted all of you to hear. So the title is Begin with Peace in Your Heart. We are here together in this moment in history to create a more just, compassionate, and peaceful world. It's easy to be overwhelmed by need, immobilized by scope, but remember, none of us is responsible for holding it all. Our contribution can make a difference in the part of the world within our reach. Today at noon, local time, people around the world will observe a minute of silence in honor of International Day of Peace. This quiet moment offers us a chance to contemplate our personal contribution to a more peaceful world. Peace on earth begins in each of our hearts. We use our daily spiritual practice to nourish our soul. I gotta use my marker here. Excuse me. We use our daily spiritual practice to nourish our souls and to locate the coordinates of the calm center within. From each calm center, the power of prayer is sent radiant light to the planet and to all suffering beings. From your calm center, use the power of your words to uplift and empower and to build up and to bring together. From your calm center, from each of our calm centers where spirit lives, use the power of our actions to show up, volunteer, donate, organize, join a cause. Love and compassionate action are the stuff of that, sorry. Love, prayer, and compassion are the most powerful forces in the universe. Our united message of oneness can become a massive beam of divine light. We are together now for just this reason. Let's light the way, shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart, lantern to lantern. Here we stand, souls on deck, illuminating the path of one love, one light, and one peace. And together we say, and so it is.
Praise God that good is everywhere. Praise to the love we all may share. The life that thrills in you and me. Praise to the truth that sets us free. Praise God that good is everywhere. Praise to the love we all may share. The life that thrills in you and me. Praise to the truth that sets us free. Praise God that good is everywhere. Praise to the love we all may share. The life that thrills in you and me. Praise to the truth that sets us free. Yes.
That was simply gorgeous, you two. Wow, thank you, thank you. Well, I have an interesting story to tell you about how I came up with the topic for this morning's message. Who knew? About a week and a half ago, I was doing something I do first thing in the morning a lot, emptying our kitty litter box. Who knew, right? And, you know, the litter is these tiny little pieces of litter, and the cats tend to scatter them all over the place. The litter box is in the laundry room, and we have a surface that's supposed to catch the litter, but it doesn't always work, and they wander off into the kitchen and the dining room and so on, and we get litter everywhere. So I'm cleaning up the litter. We have a dustbuster handy to vacuum up the stray pieces. And that particular morning, I said to my friend and housemate Vivian, gosh, your cat Leo seems to have Velcro paws. This stuff sticks to him, and then he spreads it all over the place. And as soon as I said that, I got this download for a talk idea. Velcro or Teflon. Because, well, I don't know, it was just a cool idea. You know, are we using Velcro or are we doing Teflon? The talk title I came up with was Choosing Teflon or Velcro. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, I Googled, as I generally do when I come up with a talk title, to see if I could possibly find a quote about Velcro and Teflon, and lo and behold, I did. So this is a psychologist named Dr. Rick Hansen who said this: your brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Think about that. Velcro for negative experiences, we tend to hang on to them, but Teflon for positive experiences, we tend to let them go or forget them and let them slide away. This is one of the things we call negativity bias, right? It's the old reptilian brain, and it serves a purpose because we tend to look for and notice and dwell on issues, problems, danger, fears, and it can serve us to protect us, right? But you know, those become neural pathways, the idea of worrying and ruminating. But the other good news is that neuropsychologists, I guess you call it, have told us that the brain has something called neuroplasticity. We can create new neural pathways, but it takes consistency, it takes habits, it takes some training and some discipline. Now, this negativity bias, I bet most of you have noticed. For example, if you're called in to have your annual evaluation with a boss, the boss may tell you 10 things that she's pleased with you, doing a great job, she's complimenting you, and then towards the end of the evaluation, there's one thing that you just haven't measured up and she wants you to improve. What do you notice? What do you go home and tell your partner about? The one negative thing, right? We tend to focus on that. Or perhaps you're a teacher and you teach a class and everybody but one kid is engaged and participating and happy, and there's one kid who kind of sits there rolling her eyes and looking bored and yawning, and and again, it's like we tend to say, okay, what did I do wrong? And there's nothing you did wrong. Who knows what that child is having a bad day? But this is how the negativity bias can affect us. So I'd like to reverse that quote from Dr. Hansen. I would like us to learn to become Velcro for the good in our lives and Teflon for the bad. So when I say that, I'm wondering if you have some thoughts about what you'd like to be Velcro for. What would you like to act like Velcro for in your life? What would you like to remember, to dwell on? Love. Blessings. Yes, Shannon. All the wonderful things we see. Yeah. We got to train ourselves to do that. And we all know in spiritual communities, especially New Thought communities, how powerful gratitude is, right? To really focus on that. So what are a few of the things you'd like to behave like Teflon for? You'd like to let go, release, let slide away like the eggs off a Teflon pan. Renee? Mistakes. Thank you, Ellen. Taking things personally. Yeah, one of the 4 agreements from Miguel Ruiz. Yes, Kathy. Worry. Thank you. And so much more, right? So you get the talk. You could do it yourselves, I think. But hopefully I have a few cool things to share with you this morning. So one of the things I've been training myself to be Velcro for is to notice synchronicities in my life. Beautiful, beautiful synchronicities. Carl Jung, the psychologist, said that synchronicities are, on the surface, non-related, non-causal events, 2 events that don't seem to be related, but somehow they're very meaningfully related to us. He said it's God's way of remaining anonymous, and that these synchronicities can offer us incredible guidance. So in the back of my journal, I keep 2 things. I keep a list and kind of a description of answered prayer, and I keep a list of synchronicities. And it's interesting, I read over that journal earlier this week, and I noticed that one of the things I listed there I had completely forgotten about. The Teflon was an action, and I decided to remember and to savor that synchronicity. Carl Jung believed that synchronicities were a way of God or the universe to communicate with us and give us guidance and reassurance. He once had a client that he said was very left-brained. She was very well-educated, very rational, and not in tune with her larger heart space, her soul. And he had tried everything he could think of to bring synchronicity into her life so she could feel guided and connected, and nothing had worked. Then one day, they were in a therapy session, and she was describing a dream she had about a golden scarab, a piece of jewelry that was golden scarab, of course, the shape of a beetle, right? And while she was talking, he heard this tapping on the window behind him, and he went to look, and there was a beetle outside the window, and he captured it and brought it and handed it to her. It was golden green in color, and he goes, "There's your scarab." And she shifted suddenly. She shifted into a different space of being open to that connection to the universe. It was a turning point in her life. I think it's a beautiful example. Now, synchronicities, I guess what you focus on and what you intend tends to show up. We know that in New Thought, right? Synchronicities have been running rampant in my life in a really glorious way. I need to kind of repeat a story I told a couple weeks ago in order for you to understand the significance of what I'm about to tell you. If you were here 2 weeks ago, September 7th, I told a story that comes from our book of the month, Suzanne Gieseman's The Awakened Way. And in summary, briefly, it was a story about a young man, 29 years old, named Wolf. His parents received a call one morning, Sue and Mike, that he had been found dead underneath a birch tree in a historical cemetery near where he lived in Plymouth, Massachusetts. His parents couldn't see the body right away because they didn't know what had happened. They suspected there might be foul play. But they drove to the cemetery to see the space where he had died and still saw remnants of when the paramedics had worked on him. And on the way to the cemetery, they picked up 2 long-stemmed roses in plastic sticks and planted them in the ground next to the tree. When they finally were allowed back in Wolf's apartment, they saw Wolf was a poet and an artist, and they saw a drawing that he had pinned up on the wall more recently than the 3 days ago when his dad had visited him. There was a drawing that had the yin-yang symbol, the Taoist symbol. It had a poem, and the ending line of the poem was this. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The cause of death, the coroner determined, was that he was struck by lightning. In this poem, he had the line, "The time has come to allow the light of nature to free my soul." Allow the light of nature to free my soul. And pinned up on the wall opposite this drawing and poem was his favorite t-shirt, which had a lightning bolt on it. When his parents looked more closely a couple days later, they noticed that in that little drawing, not only was there a yin-yang symbol, there was a picture, a drawing of the birch tree, the gnarled birch tree in the same shape as where they had seen it, and next to that birch tree was a sketch of 2 single-stemmed flowers. So one thinks that Wolf predicted his death, maybe even invited it. The time has come to allow the light of nature to free my soul. In the days that ensued, the author of our book, Suzanne Gieseman, who's a medium, spoke with Wolf, communicated with Wolf, and there were many, many examples of things he told her that she could not possibly know, which was proof for his parents that there was consciousness, there was life after the transition we call death. Wolf's main message in these sessions with Suzanne were basically that we are out of balance as a human race, that we are spending much too long in our human, logical, reasoning mind and not enough becoming acquainted with the feeling, knowing, expansive part of the heart of the soul, just like Jung's client had been. The day after I gave that talk, I received an email from an American Baptist pastor in Kingston, Rhode Island. He said, I've been meaning to write to you for quite some time. I've been listening to your talks online. And he said, I had to communicate after that talk you gave yesterday because of all the synchronicities in my life. He wrote, wolves, he had just completed, I don't know if he just completed, but he's written a couple novels, and one of them is not yet published, and it has to do with messages from Mary Magdalene. And the main message was the same message that Wolf is delivering, that we need to be heart-centered, that we need to connect with the universe and get out of our logical, rational minds. The whole name Wolf, their wolves play a major role. I started to read his novel. He sent me a copy, and the wolf plays a very significant role. I don't know exactly what it is yet in his story. He said, as lightning goes, I was recently frustrated trying to get home to Rhode Island. I was changing planes, and there were storms, and the plane kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. When we finally got on the plane to take off, I'm talking about, I don't know if it was to his wife or whoever. I don't know why they can't fly around storms. And another lady on the plane heard him and said, "Sir, have you ever been in a plane that got hit by lightning?" And he said, "No." And she said, "Well, you don't want to be." And thank God they didn't fly, because it's terrifying. So there was lightning, there was wolves, there was the message about Mary Magdalene's message. All of this resonated with him, and I think there were other synchronicities, but I got this beautiful message from him. He said, he's an American Baptist pastor. This is not a New Thought denomination, right? He said, I had discovered our founder of Science of Mind. I had discovered Ernest Holmes about a year ago, and I've been reading him like crazy. And I've been listening to your talks for about 6 months, how he found our center, our little center, on all the CSLs that are on the line. He's been listening to several. Well, here's another little synchronicity. So I talked to him. We had a conversation later that week. He just said, I'd love to process some of this with you. So we talked for about an hour later that week. And he said to me, I kept wanting, he lives in Rhode Island about an hour from that cemetery where Wolf died. I kept wanting to go and visit and look at the tree and just kind of ponder these things, but I was busy and I couldn't quite get there. So when we finally connected, I think it was Thursday or Friday morning last week, I said hello, and he said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "No, but I can be." So I sat down, and he said, "Guess where I am?" He was sitting under the birch tree in the historical cemetery in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where Wolf had died. It was about an hour drive from his home in Rhode Island. So I guess, it's just, this has become what I think is going to be a friendship. There are many synchronicities involved. Evan Howard is the pastor's name. During COVID, he said he started to he started filmmaking. And I, some of you may know, in a past life this lifetime in a past job, wrote and produced documentaries and specials. So who knows, maybe we'll collaborate at some point, because I've always wanted to do that again. I don't know. At the very least, I know that this is a significant friendship that's developing here that's very, very, very sweet. And that the subject of his email was something like, your message is reaching farther than you know. So, just so sweet. So again, these are things that I want to ponder, I want to remember, I want to act like Velcro, because they remind me of how connected we are and how spirit can make connections between unrelated things. These synchronicities can easily happen. So I've listed for Velcro these things that I would like to keep close to my heart. Beauty. I love to hike, and I love to be in nature, and I love to take pictures, which helps remind me of the beauty that I've absorbed. Gratitude, someone mentioned that. Blessings, positive thoughts, affirmations. Forgiveness rather than resentment, right? Self-care, compassion, courage, and quiet time. The Apostle Paul wrote a beautiful letter to the Philippians while he was in prison, by the way, in Rome. And the theme of the letter was about joy. It was about rejoice. Rejoice in God always. So it's kind of interesting. He was able to deliver a message like that when he was imprisoned. And this is what he wrote. You may be familiar with this passage, Philippians 4:8. Whatsoever things are true. This reminds me of your beautiful hymn that you sang. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, pure, lovely, of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, Think on these things. I wanted to tell a story before I read you another scripture passage that I think is applicable here. And it kind of relates to the negativity bias, but it's a modern parable about a cow. She lived in this wonderful, beautiful, wide green meadow, and every morning the sun was shining to warm her, and there was dew on the grass. The farmer checked on the whole ranch every so often. Everything was wonderful, and she ate to her heart's content and drank and had her fill every morning. But every night when she was going to sleep, she ruminated. What if? Anybody have what ifs in here? And it's always disastrous thoughts, right? What if we have a drought? What if there's no grass tomorrow? What if I starve? What if the stream dries up? And she couldn't sleep. And this happened day after day after day. In the morning, she had everything she needed. And at the night, she worried about tomorrow. Finally, this old wise ox who had been watching her all this time said, "Honey, get real. You're not even enjoying your grass when you eat it because you're already worried about tomorrow. Savor the moment. You're missing the moment." And she thought for a minute, and she closed her eyes, and she began to pay attention to the grass she was chewing, and she noticed its texture, and she noticed for the first time the warm sun on her back, and she began to relax. And her cow thoughts, I'm calling these cow thoughts, what if this happens? What if that happened? Her cow thoughts began to subside, and she began to feel more peace in her life, and she began to sleep better. And so this is the transformative power of being in the present moment, of having gratitude for what is. So here we are with our cow. How many of you occasionally at least have cow thoughts? What if? Oh, come on, I bet more than that. I know I do. So this is what Jesus had to say about our cow thoughts. This is in Matthew 6:25. "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" The answer to that is surely no, my friends. Yeah. I think the Israelites in their time in the desert learned this lesson. Do you remember the story from the Bible that manna appeared every morning? It was like this crackery, white crusty food. And they ate their fill, but when they tried to hoard it and save it up to have more for the next day, it didn't work. And so the lesson was, every day, the universe, God, our creator, whoever you want to call it, provides. It's in the Lord's Prayer, isn't it? "Give us this day our daily bread." Spirit does. So they had to learn that kind of the hard way by trying to store up and hoard, and it did not work. So Teflon, what do we need to be Teflon for? I would say you named a few good ones: anger, resentment, fear, negative thoughts, blaming ourselves or blaming others, limiting or false beliefs, any of our cow thoughts, our disastrous thoughts. Some of you may have read a book by Mindy Audlin. She wrote this book called What If Up? And the practices in the book teach us to start thinking what if thoughts, not cow thoughts, maybe puppy thoughts. You know how puppies are always happy? Yesterday on our hike, Viv and I saw this beautiful long-haired dachshund 3-year-old pup. And it was so cute and so soft. And of course, pups are like, "Hi, I love you." So yeah, let's treat our cow thoughts with Teflon and our puppy thoughts, our loving thoughts, with Velcro. Our founder of Science of Mind said this: "Strong statements of faith should be used to erase the thoughts of doubt and worry that have assailed us." He's really talking about how to heal our cow thoughts. So I'm going to ask you to repeat this affirmation from Ernest with me if you're willing. Are you willing? Yes. I have faith. I am faith. I abide in faith. All doubt and fear have left me. I don't waver nor falter in my faith. For I know that God, the living Spirit, is the only presence there is or ever can be. Thank you. It's a good one. There are many in the book, in the textbook. So I'm wondering if you'd be willing to do a little process with me. Because I believe that divine guidance is always available, and I bet many of you do too. We don't always hear it, you know? We're so involved in our physical lives, our problems, our issues, and good stuff too, but we're very involved with that. So this is one of the processes offered in Suzanne Giesemann's book of the month, our book of the month, The Awakened Way. She calls it Sip of the Divine. And the SIP, she says, stands for Sit in Peace. I've been experimenting with a lot of meditations, Joe Dispenza, different spiritual teachers, and a lot of them have some similar steps they recommend when we want to quiet our minds and be in connection with all that is, with the soul's expansive experience rather than the little rational, worried cow thought brain, that negativity bias. One of the things they all seem to recommend is to breathe first, vagal breathing, which is a breathing method that calms the nervous system, that kicks us into parasympathetic rather than, you know, the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system, into that rest and digest parasympathetic place of peace. So this is how those breaths go. There are many variations, but the main idea is that our out breath is longer than our in breath. So you can breathe in deeply. Allow your belly to expand, maybe count to 5, hold it for 2 seconds, and then breathe out slowly to the count of 7. And Suzanne recommends you really force the breath out at the end. So that presses on the vagal nerve, and it activates the parasympathetic. So let's try that, and then we'll do the whole process later. So into the count of 5, hold for 2, release slowly to the count of 7, and at the end, really force the breath out. That's the way a lot of these meditations start. The next thing I notice a lot of them have in common is to pay attention to the heart, to bring your attention to the heart. It kind of connects the mind and the heart, and when we breathe in and out of the heart, we're connecting to something bigger. Sometimes they recommend imagining your aura, that energy field that surrounds your body, and imagine expanding it. Imagine breathing out and making the aura go out there. So those are some of the steps. And then there's a step called shift, which means shift your focus from this physical plane and our physical concerns to the larger spiritual realm. I do believe we have guides and angels, all of us. I do believe that the Spirit, the Almighty Creator, is closer than our hands, nearer than our breath, but we're not always aware of it, right? So this idea of shifting, a lot of you probably use a remote control when you're watching TV. We change channels, right? There's so many channels broadcasting, our guides, Spirit itself, our higher self, broadcasting messages and guidance, but we don't hear it because we're on the wrong channel. We're focused on the wrong thing. So the shift process is shifting our attention from this physical world to that larger spiritual realm, the soul's expansive experience. So you ready to try it? All right. Matthew's going to give us a little strumming, and I'll lead you through this if you're willing. So close your eyes, if you will. And let's take 3 deep vagal breaths. So in to the count of 5, hold for 2, out to the count of 7, and let's do that 3 times. Now I invite you to move your awareness to your heart area. And as you do, begin to bring to mind the things you are grateful for this morning. This begins to bring your heart and mind into alignment with each other. And now, with the intention of aligning with the highest possible dimension from which answers to your questions and challenges will arise, silently say to yourself, shift. Shift into that awareness of the greater truth, the field around you, the ground of all being, if you will. Perhaps imagining your aura expanding so that you're not contained within your physical body, because you are not. You're much more. You are not only human. You are not only a body. And now trusting that wise, benevolent, non-physical beings and consciousness, higher perspectives are always available to help you. Silently ask from your heart, what do I need to know right now? And just listen for sensations, for thoughts, for images. What do I need to know right now? If your mind wanders, don't resist any random thoughts. Simply shift again back to the being, the clear sky of awareness, and just observing the cloud thoughts, the cow thoughts that may pass by. What do I need to know right now? Replies may come in the form of sensations, thoughts, images, feelings. Perhaps nothing comes now, but notice later today or in your dreams tonight, as we open that channel, as we shift that remote control to a larger, higher perspective, we will receive what we need, what thoughts we need to focus on, what we need to become Velcro for, or perhaps guidance on what we need to release. So as we close this brief meditation, let's just send a wave of gratitude for what's been received or what may come later today. And gently open your eyes, perhaps to a soft focus at first. So I don't think I can convince our cats to have Teflon paws instead of Velcro paws. But I do know that each of us has the power to choose. What are we going to behave like Teflon for? What are we going to release? And what are we going to behave like Velcro? To savor, to focus on, to know, to trust, to embody. We can do that. It's up to us. I'm going to end today with the prayer of protection, which is a unity prayer, which is another way of creating new neural pathways and releasing our cow thoughts when they come up. And I love this one. And if you know it, you can say it with me. I'm going to pray it in the first person. You can also pray for other people this way, right? The light of God surrounds me. Maybe we could say it after me. The light of God surrounds me.
The light of God surrounds me.
The love of God enfolds me.
The love of God enfolds me.
The power of God protects me.
The power of God protects me.
And the presence of God watches over me.
The presence of God watches over me.
Wherever I am, God is.
Wherever I am, God is.
And all is well.
And all is well.
And so it is, my friends. Thanks for playing with me.
There's an infinite supply of love in this world. It's in God, it's in you, it's in me. And it's free to everyone, like a river from the sun. And it's shining here for all to see. There's an infinite supply. There's an infinite supply. There's an infinite supply. There's an infinite supply of love in this world. It's in God, it's in you, it's in me. And it's free to everyone, like a river from the sun. And it's shining here for all to see. There's an infinite supply. There's an infinite supply. There's an infinite supply.
I know you two haven't worked together for too long, but you are really finding your stride. That was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Time now for our tithes and offerings. As always, a big thank you to all who continue to contribute to this faith community. Those online can see a QR code, and if you'd like to donate online, we would love that. Thank you, Mary and Sue, for ushering this morning. Let's say our affirmation together, and there are envelopes behind the purple chairs if you have cash and you want to give it. So let's say this together. Ready? Graciously I give from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. So it is.
Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. If you'd like to sing that with me, Shanti just means peace in Sanskrit. Shanti Om. 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 Shanti Om.
Lovely, thank you. Thank everybody. A few announcements. We got a lot going on. First of all, a big thank you. Ellen Michaels, you're here. Michael Sunday, Laura Stewart, I'm not sure Laura's here today. Thank you so much for organizing our community picnic and pet blessing. How many of you were there yesterday? Yeah, thank you so much. What a sweet event. It took some work and we did it. And I spent my birthday hiking, which is what I love to do. So I know my absence is excused in this, instance. Thank you. Thank you. So let's see. Jason's jewelry is set up in the next room, so go browse his beautiful pieces. Holidays are coming up. Maybe you want to buy something for a loved one for Christmas or Hanukkah. Our sandwich making team, let's see, first of all, I want to say on Tuesday this week, we have Tai Chi and poetry as spiritual practice, as always. People are welcome to join us for that. Our sandwich making team, they create sandwiches for people who are hungry and help the Presbyterian Church down the street feed people. They meet every Wednesday now because the need has increased, but they're meeting at the Presbyterian Church. And I understand they have a really nice kitchen, so they're enjoying that. Next Sunday, after service, we have our prospective new members class. Please sign up in the other room. Many of you did already. This is a 90-minute session where we talk about New Thought. We explain what it means to become an official member of Unity and CSL here. We answer your questions. It's a way to get to know some other folks. There is no obligation to become an official member. We invite you to, but if you decide to do that, we'll have a welcoming ritual during the service the following week, the first week in October. We have our second annual, perhaps, ladies shopping spree at Jan Bertaggio's beautiful shop in Grants Pass, Shoe Fly Shoes. How many of you went last year? It was so fun. What happens is Jan gives us all a 10% discount and donates 10% of everything we spend back to the center. She is a wizard, or maybe I should say a maven of tips for styling and offers them if you're open to it. And it's just a lot of fun. And then we go out to dinner afterwards at the Cork and Cleaver, I think it's called, next door. So please sign up because it is in Grants Pass. We will carpool up there. The shopping spree happens, I believe it's between 4 and 6 on Friday, October 10. And I will be there. I love this event. Really exciting news. How many know Karen Drucker, New Thought musician? She is coming, and I want you to let your friends and family know. She will be our guest speaker and musician on Sunday, October 12th, and she will be offering a concert after service. It's a fundraising concert. Please mark your calendars, and please tell your friends and neighbors. She is so awesome. It will be a very, very enjoyable Sunday morning and concert afterwards. You can purchase your tickets now online. You go to Donate Pay, scroll down to events, type in Drucker Concert, or there will be tickets available at the door. The suggested love offerings between $20 and $30. No one turned away. That's Karen, the way she does things. And she'll be splitting the proceeds with our center 50-50. Please see our newsletter for other events and happenings. There's always a hard copy available in the other room here near the back door for those that may not get email. You can sign up for our newsletter in Bosworth Hall. And don't forget, our prayer box is in the back of the sanctuary here for both Unity and CSL, and our practitioners love to pray for you or anyone you have things on your heart about. So I'm going to invite our ministers and practitioners in the room to come on up. They are available for a 5-minute miracle, is what we call it, after service. And please don't leave here with a heavy heart. Please don't do that. There's no reason to do that. I have kind of a funny benediction. Come on up, guys. Oh, there's Laura. You are here. I didn't see you. Thank you for yesterday's blessing. So this is what came to me. I think this was this. I can't remember who wrote this song, but it's really weird. Since I started off by talking about kitty litter, I might as well end by using a poker song as my benediction. So regarding cow thoughts and regarding about when we need to be Teflon or when we need to be Velcro, you know what? You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run. And so it is, my friend.
You nailed it. You did really good with everything. It all flowed super well.
All right, here we go. Maybe just start right into it. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more